Every Summer Premier qualifiers, there's a match that means more than the others. This is that match. My name is Evan Rayner. Rain Day. This is Nick Keogh. Hi-Rez pretty here.
There.
I went there. You know why? Because it's that important. Swarm versus Denial. Swarm want a chance of making it to Valencia, Nick. They've got to win here.
Yes, they do.
And Denial, if they want to come in first and they want to secure their spots, they've got to beat Swarm.
They do. Every game matters for both of these squads. Denial have a long way to climb because this is their doubleheader weekend. They're only going to get one more of these, so they got to make good on this first one as good as they can. Stone Keep is where they will elect. Try and go and make good on their name. When we get in the champion draft, we'll have to see where does Drogos go, where does Androxus go. Both going to be very highly contested in this series.
Will Swarm over the second place seeding?
Can Fire step up once again?
Will Denial deny them the opportunity to go to Valencia?
All questions we will answer
right now in the champion draft. We're not going. Come on. Help us out here. We're being epic. Oh!
Sodded.
You want to do the rush hour thing?
Sure.
Jamo! Jamo Lee! Come on.
Jackie Chan?
Hey, yeah, you could be Jackie Chan. That's cool.
I guess I'm definitely closer to the Asian guy than you are.
Now it's time to get serious. It's the champion draft. Swarm. Will they swarm the draft?
Wow.
With the Ruckus first pick.
Taking a page out of Denial's book, stealing away the Ruckus.
It's a good choice.
Saying, hey, you guys are a Ruckus one trick.
You're a Ruckus one trick.
We get
wow.
this, we win.
And Denial says, well, you're just a Drogos one trick, so we'll take your Drogos, and you take our Ruckus, and we'll see who has fun then.
Yeah.
It's like a little, playground fight here.
Definitely taking Androxus here. Like that a lot. And Random Noob, his performances on Bomb King, he got top damage when they lost.
Yes.
So I'm totally cool with people taking Drogos away from this squad now. I'm sure Swarm is as well. They've quickly adapted and expanded their champion pool to be able to compensate.
They really have. And now Denial with the Makoa, Wi-Fi feels comfortable there. My biggest thing, though, is I do want to see how much impact they have from a frontline perspective on this map, because Ruckus, he is notably so impactful here with a lot of aerial space to cover. And Makoa and Awry, they're just not air, and them, that's not where they live. They're on the ground or in the sea, even below.
The story of a turtle and a rock. Sarah's
by Nick Keogh.
Locked in.
New York Times #1 bestseller, man.
One last pick here. It's going to be the Maldeezy for Denial Esports. They needed a healer. Pretty, this draft is definitely way different than what we've seen today. Last pick, healers and tanks.
Yeah.
First pick, damages for both squads. Denial. We're really placing heavy prioritization onto the Drogos here, and I would like to see Swarm punish it. Just prove them wrong. Be like, hey, it's not as vital to our success as you think it is.
And Denial, too. Placing a lot more emphasis on the Cassie than I would have thought. Allowing no kind of interesting last picks to take place and opting to let them know that a Maldamba or some type of healer had to be selected in that final spot. Mortal Reach here for Dare Rising. MrHazee, for Swarm coming through. Darkstalker Androxus for Fire. Architectonics Barrack for Badmit. Aerial Assault Ruckus for Dreiss, and Accelerant Bomb King for Random Noob TV.
Bitey's going to be running the Nara for this Denial squad with Mother's Grace. Exaction for Prince Danny's Cassie. Whiffle's going to have Half Shell Makoa. Ripened Gourd for Arise Maldamba, and a Combustible with a Wrecker for Stolzey's Drogos. 1 Wrecker, 2 Cauterize. Actually, Prince Danny has elected for that Master Riding. 2 Cots, 1 Wrecker as well for Swarm.
Morale boost for MrHazee. He wants to challenge and charge up that ultimate as fast as possible, but Random Noob TV already challenged by Stolzey with the Combustible legendary. PrinceDannyTV can't find anything, and now Random Noob TV getting healed has definitely come out on the better end of that trade. If Danny doesn't get any healing now, Random Noob TV has a new prey to be hunting after.
I like this. Ball chasing him up onto the high ground as well. Unfortunately, though, Badmit's in a bad spot. Bitey's going to claim first blood, and he rolls out. No kills yet.
Wow.
For Swarm. Denial already 54% capture.
That's respect. Prince Danny, I mean, he going into Fire wasn't even half health, but Danny gets 1 on his own, maybe making it 2 here. Exaction shot could mean a lot. Gets the roll back, rolls into the wall, though probably not exactly what he wanted to do, and actually has to roll out of the gourd. Awry and him panicking just to get him healed up, but 90% on the objective, and Stolzey zoning with Combustible. That's going to be enough to secure the first point for Denial.
That'll happen. Very, very clean little interaction there from Prince Danny. Lands every shot, every ability in his kit to its fullest potential. Makes away with almost 2 free kills, and just really clean stuff. That's what happens. He can do that sort of thing. He can hit that stride in the back line and win a team fight before you know it.
And that's why it's so important to have guys like that. You talk about Purdo, you talk about Sheepa, you talk about Bugsy, you talk about them all being on the same team. Woo. Now, finally, you've got guys like stolzey, you've got guys like Bitey, now Prince Danny joining the squad not only a few months ago, being able to be one of those playmakers for this squad and maybe help them to overtake the best of the best.
It's been pretty seamless in terms of this transition between him and Shades because, frankly, he had big shoes to fill. Shady Shades was one of the dominant flankers in the scene before he made his exit. Prince Danny has filled most of what he can play, if not more.
And this is a character that Shady Shades would often find himself playing to an extremely high level. PrinceDannyTV, normally known for his Androxus in the community, now facing off a lot in these roles with the Cassie, with the normal damage DPS when he can. randomnoobtv here facing off with the Bomb King. Who's going to come out? PrinceDannyTV finds the kill, and stolzey finds one onto Barrack.
badmit, 2 for 0 thus far, making a 3 for 0. And stolzey finds a double up onto the high ground, courtesy of Fire Spit. Now Fire, he's got his work cut out for him, but unable to consume. Jesus. It's the slow-mo, guys. The round is over.
Gee,
Saved by the Bell is
rocket in the face, knock up, stun in the air, hits the wall, another rocket in the face, lands on a gourd and just dies. I mean, oh my God, that was just painful to watch.
It's a message. They had to send a message here. This game does mean more than the rest. Level 20 mastery spray there for Mr. Whiffle on his Nicola. Looking so fresh, so fly for a white guy, for a turtle. To now, Esports level 2 items. Hi-Rez for Bitey, level 2 record for stolzey. Prince Danny actually just heads into the Chronos here. This is good for a couple of reasons. You know, it does help make your rolls incredibly smooth. You can roll the second you land a shot, no matter how quickly your roll shot comes out. As well as even if you miss, you know, it helps, you know, cushion that a little bit. Happens from time to time to even the best of us.
Because you got that 1 second reduction to that, and now this is really just more security for if things don't go that well, or just making it that much smoother for when you're playing. Dreiss gets taken down again. The bullying continues, and now Wi-Fi has a hook. He's going to hook up through. Reversal. Fire will get taken down. Convergence here could be big. Random Noob sees it. He gets stunned out, but Wi-Fi here has the Ancient Rage and the huge health pool.
Only able to find one off the back of that huge convergence, though. Whiffle's eating a lot of damage through this Ancient Rage. Gonna have to get that shell shield down, trying to stay alive, and a dome shield comes through as well.
Great play there by randomnoobtv to throw the Grumpy Bomb out and just zone. Awry finds the kill, but he's busy getting kills and not actually healing, so it's given Swarm 99% onto the subjective, and it's also meant that their front lines and their flanks don't have as much sustain onto the point.
Oh, Danny's in trouble here. Awry's in trouble here. Doesn't actually even throw the stun off. A couple more shots gonna do it. Straight pattern, no siree. Pulsar field comes out as well. Whiffle goes Swarm, looking very strong right now.
Looking all like Swarm's point to lose right now. Bitey's just gonna hold it off. stolzey's gotta find something. He's gonna do a lazy ult here and stay in the air with the booster, but he gets no value for any of those skills whatsoever. 99% Grumpy Bomb the zone, and that ability gets stronger and stronger the more you need to stand on the point. Swarm, bringing it back here.
Comeback mechanic is enough for them. They come back 1-2, double kill at the end of things. Convergence charge back up as well. MrHazee, frankly, the turning point in that fight was his 4-man convergence. Despite only being able to find 1 kill, they got the Ancient Rage cooldown as well. And when you get it defensively, it's good for you because he pops it just to stay alive. He's not popping it to cleave through a bunch of your teammates.
So much disruption there. I wonder randomnoobtv knew he could have just turned to the left and thrown that Grumpy Bomb exactly where he did without having to Poppy Bomb away and do it. Out without a movement skill, but still, his team has the momentum. Not enough pressure here by Denial, and in fact, they're going very far back from what they were expecting to do.
Very aggressive there, Random Noob. Almost pays off, doesn't get Whiffle. 2 tanks caught out very low. Nowhere really to go. Whiffle's hook is down. He's going to fall. Bitey has plenty of health and tankiness left to his name. Seismic Crash comes through onto Dreiss just to keep the momentum on Denial's side. This would have been a really bad spot to lose control of the game.
And you know, you think that ultimate on, just one ultimate, it looked like he was gonna die anyway. No, it secures the hold, and that's what they want. They get set up, they get coordinated. Why that convergence was so good, Nick, was because it just put them in all different locations. Everyone's spread out trying to survive, and it allowed for this continual snowball that didn't end until that moment.
Cursed Arm comes out from the high ground as well. Is he gonna find any kills? No, stolzey's gonna get topped back up with ease. Awry Salvo comes through, ripping apart the barricade. King Bomb comes up over the top. Convergence as well to pull in one. Dragon Punch trying to counter it out.
Good CC immunity there by stolzey. Here's the Convergence, grabs fire as well, hits a combustible right before that starts, and now looking to pressure out MrHazee with a couple of rockets to the face. He leaves Dreiss by the payload, actually hexafiring into Bitey, but none of that damage matters with an Earthen Guard and a healer ready to keep him healthy.
Saris makes it out alive. 30 seconds remain. Swarm only with one ultimate to their name. The Convergence would have been really big because they committed the King Bomb to that as well, but unfortunately only pulls in one. Not the 4-man they were hoping for this time around.
No Victor Barrage, like we saw yesterday, which was a pentakill. If you weren't able to catch that one, Saris Convergence can be such good setup. stolzey jumping into the air, 74 health to his name. He stays alive. That could be the moment that this whole defense changes for Denial.
He's trying to buy time. Dreiss trying to stay alive. Dome Shield has been popped. Danny with a great angle on the back line here. 2 for nothing. Swarm starting to gain some momentum.
Orion Wi-Fi down. That's the sustain. That's the tank. stolzey is back though. What will this combustible do? What will the salvo do? Overtime is here, which means the longer it goes, the more important it will be to stay close to the payload. They can't get down there though. stolzey goes down. randomnoobtv finds yet another kill.
They find the angle here. One more kill. Whiffle. He's going to go down as well. The payload finds the window, converts 2-2. All tied up. Danny finds a consolation kill. That's not going to be what Denial were hoping for. They want to put this game away convincingly. Swarm have a reputation for taking Denial the distance. They haven't yet taken a whole set off them, but definitely looking to make their case here. Random Noob, 68,000 damage, 15,000 above the next closest, which is stolzey on the Drogo. So definitely making the case for himself continuously that he is not a one-trick pony.
And you see this graph shows a lot of red and blue together. There's not really one team dominating here. You see outliers in both teams. You see the packs staying relatively close together, and that goes to show it's a 2-2 game. Anything can happen right now. Both these teams have their sights on Spain. One, the newcomer, having an amazing upstart and trying to keep it going. One, the former champs, the former big guys, trying to get their former glory back and established here over Team Cryptic, who has been dominating.
Cursed Arm comes out again, doesn't find anything. Buys some space, you could argue, but definitely not what they were hoping for there. 18% already. Denial using just their tankiness to bully Swarm away. Dragon Punch comes through. stolzey's looking for it, but just turns around, and again, missed Dragon Punch.
And it's more important for stolzey to stay alive. That's what he realizes here, rather than give up a Dragon Punch and expose himself. But Drogo's in this fight. Look at all the damage that he's doing right now. He's already done more than he would have with that Dragon Punch, but he falls there, and so it does become a questionable trade. Now that 3-4 kills go on the side of Swarm.
No way! I thought that was turned around. I was getting ready to commend Awry for a great Dread Serpent. Swarm collapsed on a Convergence that didn't have the initial follow-up that it needed, but somehow, some way, they salvage that team fight. Denial had a great collapse on the aggression with the Dread Serpent as well, and geez, I really thought that was going to go Denial's way.
But they're going to have to win 2 fights now, Nick. That's the big key. The comeback mechanic is not in play, so they're going to have to move past here, and as they take poke, they can't just stand and stay exposed on the objective. It's going to be an even fight, and this is where you're going to see who has the marbles, who's got the cojones to finish things off. And Wi-Fi standing on the point in the gourd, full health right now, 99%.
Wow, that's going to be it, 99% overtime double kill for Awry. There's a tank here to try and contest, but in unceremonious fashion, no, Shadow Travel's going to be there. The contest is strong. He's probably going to pay with his life for this one. Gets hooked back into the Grumpy Bomb. Nice stuff comes out from them, but overtime continues to tick down and kills are not being found for him.
Good multitasking there by Awry as well. Gets the gourd, gets the Mending Spirits, gets a stun thrown out there, just warding out. stolzey stunned here as well by the Grumpy Bomb, it looks like. But his team is captured, and that's all they need. And again, that comeback mechanic shows you why it was so possible for them to win that first fight. Despite playing well, it's just a totally different thing when you have to win 2 consecutive fights against a team of the caliber of Denial.
Now have the chance to close the game here with the conversion, as they are sitting at 3 points to 2. Ancient Rage is available, as well as a lot of other things. Dragon Punch is back and ready to go. Convergence lands inside of the Shell Shield and will only pull Whiffle. with no real follow-up there. Awry's the only one to fall in that engagement, but Random Noob pays the blood price for that kill.
Really lucky there as well. The shell shield blocked every single attempt at a projectile following up after that because it doesn't destroy shields. That convergence, if you have your shield up, it'll bring it on there with you. And just very, very fortunate play. MrHazee gets nothing from that, and with 16% now to his name, and this payload about 60% of the way pushed, that might have been a difficult and dangerous call.
Danny and Random Noob boxing out on the high ground. Just going to back off, giving each other respect. Afforded. Grumpy Bomb does come out, bounces off the front of the payload, however. Not the ideal look there. And a minute 14 remains. Denial already very close with easy chance for conversion here with one clean team fight.
Danny pops the ult, goes down. stolzey gets one though, and Awry finds another. Big combustible and hook back into it. randomnoobtv is still alive, and Fire still pressuring stolzey. He finds the kill onto the Dragon. The flank staying alive, but Wi-Fi shuts down Random Noob.
Jeez, it's still with Ancient Rage available. The hook actually took so long to come through the animation, he wasn't able to get it off alive. And maybe the Boon Swarm need. Dome Shield will come out to try and stabilize. Swarm have bought the time they needed.
And Convergence is back online as well. Hexafire is coming at 56%. That means only 43 now ready until the Bomb King has his ultimate, but he just goes down. stolzey finds the kill. Convergence here. They need to find value off of this, and they will. They take down Wi-Fi.
Two. Earthen Guard popped as well, rolling through. Fire very low, gets caught in the Dread Serpent. Awry with another clutch Dread Serpent. Every single one was so good. Every single one is always that good. Awry has yet to miss one.
That was such a good Dread Serpent because of the fact that, you know, when you think of the Dread Serpent, it goes out. You see your teammates get feared, and you're like, oh man, they got feared. I'm watching it. I'm okay. I'm still in control of my player. The second you step into that, even if it is over, even if it looks like it's like 70% done, you take one step, you all automatically get the fear. That's what happens to multiple members on that team trying to progress that payload. It's such a good moment of patience showcase for Awry here to save that to the end.
He does a good job of not getting caught in convergences and using that Dread Serpent to counter-initiate, counter all the aggression that comes off the back of what, frankly, were good convergences from MrHazee. He's hitting 4-mans at the most and, you know, finding a couple 1s and 2s there along the way. But just good stuff from Awry all around. 138,000 healing as well. 27-7, a good slash line as well.
MrHazee definitely going a little bit more in the damage department than I think we see a lot more Cereses. I usually see Ceres about 20,000, you know, around the 17, 20,000 damage mark with that same caliber of healing. So maybe just having a good game.
That's what happens when you hit big convergences, though.
Yeah.
You know, there's nothing to do but just slam through the big ultimate that you just hit. And he was getting quickly back to 50% because his follow-up was so big.
Yeah, he hit a lot, and he has to keep hitting a lot. They've got to win this next game. Otherwise, it's all over. That's right. It is Denial here who will take the lead, a significant lead, and a significant win in this set over Swarm if they get this next map to their favor. It's going to be Frozen Guard, something we haven't seen today.
Swarm, this is going to be their map pick. This is where they want to take things, and they were pretty good with Drogos on it. They have the long range, and Dreiss, not only can he play the Kinesi, he can play the Shaolin. A lot of options here for Swarm in the draft.
We'll see what happens here in the champion draft coming up. randomnoobtv and his squad have to buckle up and get ready. They have to win this. Basically, do or die here in order to get to Valencia. It's going to be relatively, practically impossible if they can't overtake Denial at some point, and this is the time to do it.
They got to have a lot. If they lose this game, a lot has to go their way in a couple weeks. Denial would basically have to lose out. Cryptic would have to lose out.
It's almost out of their control,
I don't see it. Yeah, I don't see it happening. Ruckus, the first pick for Denial Esports.
Now, Swarm grabbing the Drogos as well. Both teams content to take their bread and butter and say, we're going to play what we feel best on. We're not trying to deny you of anything. Either way, it's gone Denial's way today, but Inara grabbed as the secondary pick for Swarm.
And Droxus, good potential answers, but it will be to Cassie. stolzey can play Cassie, so Droxus not off the table just yet, but if a Bomb King does get drafted through for Denial, I would expect Prince Danny to be on this Cassie.
Swarm here. As you mentioned, the Shaolin picked up. Now that no Ruckus for Dreiss to play, going to be holding down the long range, and he's a great pick on this map purposefully. I do appreciate him even more so than Cassie because of his impale, his planet, and just the long range of those arrows. But Saris taken again for MrHazee. Good look.
Yeah, potential to combo off the Inara wall as well. There's not a lot of walls. There is kind of during the payload fight in that immediate point room, but having that communication, Inara could potentially combo there. and an Eevee for Denial Esports. So it'll probably be Prince Danny on the Eevee. It's been a while since he played it, but when they were drafting it, that's who was piloting it.
I personally love Eevee, even right now in this meta. I think that a lot of people don't play her. I think there's a lot of reasons why they don't. She is squishy. She's low room for error sometimes when you get exposed. But if you do everything right, if you're feeling yourself, if you have that game where your aim is on and you're just positioning is correct, Eevee can snowball a fight. And Dreiss has to follow things up with Swarm. We'll see who gets the better in. It is all up to Denial and Swarm to tie this up or to allow one to move forward going into next weekend. Assault Ruckus, Aerial Assault Ruckus for Bitey. PrinceDannyTV yet to select a legendary, probably Reprieve. Half shell change to Pluck for Wi-Fi's Makoa. Ripen Gourd for Awry's Maldamba. And Exaction Cassie for Stolzey's Cassie. Yeah, and Reprieve as we assumed.
Mortal Reach for MrHazee's Saris. It's going to be Mother's Grace for badmit and Nara. Recurve for Dreiss's Shaolin. Random Noob has taken Combustible for his Drogos. And Darkstalker for Fires and Droxus. And this Eevee, it's good for a couple of reasons. She's the flanker that requires the least out of positionness, I guess is the best way of the enemy team. She can force angles that nobody else because she literally just teleports there.
Yeah.
It doesn't require a lot of forethought, doesn't require a lot of cooldowns to get yourself in a good spot, and she can safely get out. A lot of safety with this pick. Eevee's one of those cool characters where if you are playing safe enough, you may not be getting a lot of kills, you may not be taking a lot of risks, but playing safe enough, you just won't die.
Yeah, and you'll distract a lot of people. Who can you distract? What are the big, I think for me, the biggest plays that Eevees make is they distract the right people at the right time. And it allows the other team that relief to make plays themselves. If you realize and can see who's the problem child here, and how can I put him in front of the television and kind of make sure that he stays cool so the rest of the kids can run and play, that is where I think Eevee is going to show up here today.
Dreiss on his Shaolin. Will it be the Saris that he distracts in the back line? Tough to kill. Saris is good. You know, a lot of HP, safe mobility, as well as a potent self-heal. So she's tough to bring down, but just drawing her ire away from the fight is going to be enough. Prince Danny,
big shot.
Comes in, gets in the ice block. stolzey with the first blood. There it is. MrHazee goes down as well. Danny gets what he came for.
So apparently it was Dreiss. Take away Dreiss's eyes. He gets one great shot onto Danny. Thinks he can kill him. Looks at him. He's in the ice block. stolzey gets the kill. Everyone turns to that engagement, and it all snowballs for Denial. Ooh. That was perfect play. It's exactly the power of what Eevee can do when a good follow-up.
Big zones coming through as well. Denial, 96%. Going to capture this payload. Guaranteed. Nobody from Swarm anywhere close. Now, it's up to Swarm to get a little bit aggressive here. I wouldn't like to see them give up all of the payload push and immediately just sit on their base. At least push up to this first choke and do your best to hold there. But Denial have done a good job holding this choke down with just 4 members.
Interesting to note as well, Danny on the Eevee, not running Flicker. Pretty standard card for Eevees in general, even if you're running Reprieve, because that extra healing while you blink can be valuable, save your life at times. I'm curious what he is running in this loadout as well. A lot of people go for the reduced ice block, running cold-blooded floor. There it is. And the movement speed after ice block, as well as the range of blink. So just opting to be a little bit faster, maybe get himself out of the way of some of these attacks after he gets out of that crucial immunity period.
I always prefer the damage reduction, honestly, because like coming out of ice block, you're gonna get hit. Like that little move speed, I don't know. I feel like you're not really juking anything with that. Oh, just shy of connecting that Dragon Punch riffle. Shows Random Noob is Cannonball instead.
It is a choice, right? I mean, sometimes that damage reduction, we see Bugsy, he kind of opts for that, I think, sometimes as well. And oftentimes we've seen that be just as effective, but different playstyles, different strokes for different folks. Bitey up in the air yet again. He might fall here. There's a lot of damage. Can't quite get to the gourd, and the emitter just crumbling to pieces with the pressure of a Shaolin and a Drogos.
1 minute remains for this payload to find its way to the conversion point. stolzey on a 4 streak. We're going to make that happen, just putting out some feeler bolts, looking for a poke. Ultimate's already charged up. If they want the vision, they will have the option to go into it. Best at the start of the round, but stolzey can use this for move speed at any point. It's pretty selfish outside of the start of the round. 45 seconds remain. Denial making their moves.
Posturing there by Wi-Fi and Dreiss. Dreiss uses movement skill, but Wi-Fi distracts him enough, and PrinceDannyTV, the Winter Witch, soars in and finds the kill. Goes in with the ultimate as well. The Ice Storm selects 3 for Danny to take to the grave with him, and Wi-Fi will find another one. This is an entire wipe by Denial Esports onto Swarm, and a spray outside of their base. Oh, the BM.
This is good. This is a good look for Denial because, frankly, Danny's EV was very underwhelming the last time that they drafted it. Granted, it was a very long time ago, and this was actually the first couple of games that Danny was playing with Denial. So, building on synergy, I don't think Danny. I think it was more of that, learning to play with a new team. I don't think Danny has become an incredibly better EV player in the past couple of weeks. I think he's probably just the same as he's always been, but meshing with the squad and being able to pull this off is just one more angle, a little bit more versatility for Denial. Headed towards Valencia, and frankly, that's what I think they have been lacking.
And that's where time with your team, you know, although these players aren't going to change their mechanics very much over a couple of weeks with a new squad, having this new environment, you know, being one of the top 2 contenders in North America is going to change some things, especially with a guy like Bitey on your team, constantly coaching you, constantly driving you and the entire squad to make you better. Pops into the ult here. Cassie just getting that extra momentum too. Just the movement speed is incredible here, and he is just not targeted right now.
Yeah, and that's the thing. No one's like looking at stolzey yet. He has basically done 60% of the damage in this team fight, rolling through uncontested. Danny finds MrHazee, Fire the only one left alive. Big shots from stolzey. He drives home another one, sitting on a 9 streak.
Pinpoint accurate with the pink and blue crossbow there. PrinceDannyTV just shooting those projectiles, and you know, those hit people, right? Those hit. They're just so slow. They cover a lot of space. He just hits one right there. And it feels like he fired that after he blinked. And maybe that applied to the weapon shot?
I think you're right.
That's very interesting.
I actually think you're right.
He fired it
because I saw the bonus damage text.
Yeah, and it was before he blinked. So if you shoot it mid-air and then blink, looks like you could still get the bonus damage on your weapons. I did not know that.
The more you know.
Very cool stuff there by Eevee. Again, just laying down into the path of where the most resistance will come from Swarm. But 3-0, easy contest. This game has been very one-sided and a relatively slow pace as well, Nick. I just feel like no one's pressing this game at all from Swarm.
Yep, 2 minutes remain here. Ultimates online for Swarm, 2 of them. Dragon Punch as well as the Seismic Crash. Nothing online for Denial Esports. They're almost there on the Hexafire. Almost there, kind of, sort of, on this Dread Serpent as well, but just giving up free push. And this is sort of the nature of Frozen Guard. Once you give up the payload, you sort of need to give up a bunch of ground. There aren't a lot of great places to hold alongside.
We are aware there is a noise going on in the stream, so please bear with us here as we take you through the rest of the action. Of course, trying to get to it as well. We have hopefully fixed that. Should be coming through nice and clear. Fire going to get taken down by Bitey. And Nick, this looks like it could be the end for this set.
Could be the end. That sound signaling the end of days. The sirens have sounded. Denial making their moves. Hexafire, Scout available. Dread Serpent popped. Ice Storm's almost ready to go. Danny's been having a great impact with that ultimate in the previous round. And Awry is exactly where she is. She got caught the last time, but Dreiss is able to shut her down. Bitey up into the air. He's not actually going to be able to make it out. So a minute remaining here. Denial still have time to push this one through. Likewise, Swarm still have what they need to shut it down.
Cassie Scout, you know, applying that ultimate kind of immunity, right? The crowd control, CC immunity that could withstand a convergence by Saris, making her a decent pick against her if you want to keep that going. And just, again, peppering the hallways with the orbs and trying to pepper a little bit more. The flavor of this fight has not tasted very good for Swarm.
Danny up and over the walls of the base. Bitey looking like he may be joining soon, and MrHazee, huge pickup for Danny. His task is already done. Anything he gets in addition to that is going to be icing on the cake for Denial. Huge pickup.
And Saris always just mortal enemies, it feels like, with the Winter Witch. Can't tell if that's actual lore or if that's just something these pros have created. Wow. But Denial Esports have absolutely denied Swarm any chance of that second spot here practically, and basically making a statement to them and to the entire North American scene that they are coming for Spain.
Yeah, and I think Swarm are still just happy to be here.
Absolutely.
Happy they made it this far. They're really looking forward to learning and growing as a squad. They are basically brand new.
Yeah,
as a 5 member. I mean, they had a new member come in, Fire, filling in for Vandy now, who doesn't really want to commit to competitive play.
Yeah.
But he came in week 1 of this, so he didn't even qualify with these guys, and they're still looking strong enough. Big shout out to stolzey, though, for 2 in a row, countering heat hazes with his scouts, holding on to that for just the opportune moment. 45,000 damage on his Cassie, highest in the game.
And the thing to keep in in relative comparison is that this is not 3, 4, like, of just a few of the best teams. These are the best teams in North America right now. You are third, essentially, right now in all of North America, and you are a new squad. Keep it up. In fact, if this was an HRX of last year, you guys would have been making it, I believe, 2 HRX, because I believe we took 3 from each region there in terms of North America and Europe. So this is a very good spot to be in. Holding on to this position and only getting better is only going to serve you guys more and more as that continues to come. And again, it's not impossible, but there would just have to be kind of Zeus coming down from the sky and somehow making these guys stop playing like stolzey and PrinceDanny do.
The Cassie was a good pickup against the Shaolin, and frankly, I don't think Swarm was counting on the Eevee. The Eevee's been pretty uncommon throughout our qualifying process.
Yeah.
Only a couple teams that are still running her, and it's only on certain maps. So it's tough to see coming. It's a bit of a blind side, as well as, like I said, Danny was pretty underwhelming on it the first time he played it, but definitely turned around. Much, much better performance from him on the Winter Witch.
Show and improve, and that is exactly what Danny's doing. Each day he's getting out there and showing that he belongs in this squad a little bit more, and that this squad, not only does he belong there, needs him to keep playing this way. A lot of those 5-man deicides we saw were on the back of a big pickup from Danny, a nice storm, or just a big play taking down and distracting the crucial members of Swarm. You know, taking a look at...
Is she the answer to Saris?
I mean, I think personally Eevee should be played a lot more in this meta than she is. I love seeing her as that, just that backline threat. I feel like we don't have a lot of that. And the way Saris plays, she loves the backline. She loves that. And the only gap closer that I really know right now, we'll see what happens when Zen comes in, because that may be something, an answer people look for. But I think Eevee is really probably one of my favorite choices.
Saris so hard to bring down, and it's like we were talking about, right? Androxus has his couple of nether steps that he has to expend. A lot of them to get in the back line. A lot of other flankers, Buck, he's in, but then he has to get out or get his kill, right? Eevee's consistent enough, right? Because if after a shadow travel comes out, you know, she's going to reposition. You have to find a new angle. By that time, she's already full health.
Absolutely.
You're on a 12-second timer before that shadow travel is ready to go again. Whereas Eevee, 3 to 4 seconds, she's in. She's ready to go again. She's out. She soars out. She's good. She's full health. As soon as you come out of that shadow travel, there she is. And Saris has been traditionally one of the harder healers to take down. Maybe Eevee is the answer we need.
We'll see what happens next week. Europe, North America, they're going to play yet again in week 3, so make sure you join us there. As we head out, we've got some great things to let you all know about as you begin, you know, saying, hey, I've just watched a lot of Paladins Esports. I love it, but I want to play Paladins now. Why should I hop on today? Well, it's free, but also it's a double XP weekend. So you can get double the XP. You can get those champion masteries twice as fast if you're playing this weekend, which is, in fact, I'm selling myself. I'm like, I got to get Cosmic.
We got to get our first
seriously
skin. We haven't grounded any of those guys to the 15 mark. And as well, I've been grinding this myself. The console has gone into the open beta phase completely free on both Xbox One and PS4. We have the console wars actually going on after this. You can head over to the Paladins World channel. That's being broadcast as well. It's another tournament that we've got getting going and ramped up for Valencia.
Absolutely, and I believe that will be slightly delayed, but make sure if you just keep it open on your Twitch browser, Paladins World, to be showcasing that. It's really fun. I mean, it looks exactly like the Paladins you're watching here today, so just more of the same. Stick around. There's more Paladins action later on today. My name's been Evan Rayner. Rain Day. This is Nick Keogh, Hi-Rez Pretty Hair. From all of us at Hi-Rez Studios, thank you for joining us here for week 2 of the Summer Premier Qualifiers heading towards Valencia. I'm already getting hotter. I feel like the heat, the summer heat, the Spanish heat is closer.
I had some Carolina Reaper salsa earlier today, and it was, I'm still kind of like, my tongue is a little bit numb still.
Oh, man. Well, I can't wait to go to España, and I know you guys will join us there as well. But remember, join us next weekend. We've got 2 more weeks of this before we find the top 2 teams that will be going from each region. Until then, my friends, as always, remember to never give up, never stop gaming, and we'll see you all in the realm.